Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. Today, we're embarking on a breathtaking journey back in time to explore the vibrant tapestry of culture and art in antiquity. From the monumental pyramids of Egypt to the philosophical debates in the Athenian Agora, the ancient world was a crucible of creativity and innovation that shaped the very foundations of our modern civilization. So, grab your virtual passport, because we're about to uncover the masterpieces and marvels that defined an era. Let's begin our journey in the land of the pharaohs, ancient Egypt. Egyptian art and culture were deeply intertwined with religion and the afterlife. Think about it. The Great Pyramids of Giza weren't just tombs, they were eternal homes, launchpads to the next world, filled with everything a pharaoh would need. Their art followed a strict set of rules, known as canon, which is why Egyptian figures often look so distinctive. The profile view of the head, a frontal view of the torso, and side views of the limbs. This was a deliberate style meant to show the body in its most complete and recognizable form for eternity. Hieroglyphs, their beautiful and complex writing system, weren't just for record-keeping. They were sacred carvings, a visual language that adorned temple walls and papyrus scrolls, telling stories of gods, pharaohs, and daily life along the Nile. Now, let's travel across the Mediterranean to Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. This region, home to civilizations like the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, is often called the cradle of civilization, and for good reason. It was here that writing in the form of cuneiform script was first developed. Imagine pressing wedge-shaped marks into wet clay tablets to record everything from laws and trade to epic poetry. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's first great works of literature, comes from this region. It's a powerful story of friendship, loss, and the search for immortality. Architecturally, Mesopotamians built massive stepped pyramids called ziggurats, which were believed to be the earthly dwelling places of the gods. Their art often depicted rulers as powerful, godlike figures and showcased scenes of war and royal lion hunts, emphasizing strength and authority. Next, we sail to the sun-drenched shores of ancient Greece, a civilization that revolutionized art, philosophy, and politics. Early Greek art, like the stiff kouros statues, was heavily influenced by Egyptian styles, but soon the Greeks developed a passion for naturalism and idealism. They sought to capture the perfect human form. Think of the transition from the rigid figures of the archaic period to the dynamic, lifelike sculptures of the classical period, like Myron's Discobolus, or the breathtaking figures from the Parthenon. The Greeks celebrated the beauty of the human body and mind. Their architecture, based on principles of order, proportion, and harmony, exemplified by the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian orders, gave us iconic structures like the Parthenon in Athens. This was also the birthplace of democracy, theater, and philosophy, with great thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle questioning the world around them and laying the groundwork for Western thought. From Greece, we journey to its powerful successor, ancient Rome. The Romans were brilliant engineers and pragmatists, and their art and culture reflected this. While they greatly admired and emulated Greek art, often making copies of Greek masterpieces, they also made their own unique contributions. Roman portraiture, for example, was incredibly realistic. Instead of idealizing their leaders, they showed them with wrinkles, warts and all, a style known as verism. This celebrated wisdom, experience, and individual character. But where the Romans truly excelled was in architecture and engineering. They perfected the use of the arch, the vault, and concrete, allowing them to build massive and enduring structures. The Colosseum, an amphitheater for gladiatorial contests, the aqueducts that carried water for miles to their cities, and the vast network of roads that connected their empire are all testaments to their incredible ingenuity. Roman culture was a melting pot, absorbing and adapting traditions from the many peoples they conquered. Of course, the ancient world was far more diverse than just these Mediterranean powers. In ancient India, the Mauryan and Gupta empires fostered a rich cultural landscape. This period saw the rise of Buddhism and Hinduism, which inspired magnificent art and architecture. The Great Stupa at Sanchi, a dome-like structure containing Buddhist relics, is a masterpiece of early Indian art, adorned with intricate carvings depicting the life of the Buddha. Indian sculpture developed its own unique aesthetic, characterized by sensuous forms and serene expressions, aiming to convey spiritual ideas rather than just physical reality. Ancient Indian literature also flourished, giving us epic poems like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, which remain cornerstones of Indian culture today. Meanwhile, in ancient China, dynasties like the Shang, Zhou, and Han laid cultural foundations that would last for millennia. The Shang dynasty is famous for its incredible bronze casting, creating elaborate ritual vessels covered in complex designs. The concept of the mandate of heaven, developed during the Zhou dynasty, profoundly shaped Chinese political thought. But perhaps the most famous artistic achievement is the terracotta army, built for the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang. Imagine thousands of life-sized clay soldiers, each with a unique face, standing guard in silent ranks for over 2,000 years. It's a stunning display of artistic skill and imperial power. During the Han Dynasty, the Silk Road opened, connecting China to the West and facilitating a vibrant exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures that would enrich both worlds. These ancient cultures, though separated by geography and time, were all driven by a common human impulse: the need to understand their world, to express their beliefs, and to leave a lasting mark. They created art not just for beauty, but for purpose: to honor their gods, to commemorate their leaders, to guide the dead into the afterlife, and to tell the stories that defined them. Their innovations in writing, law, philosophy, and science created a blueprint for future generations. The principles of Greek architecture are still used today. Roman law forms the basis of many modern legal systems. The philosophical questions first asked by ancient thinkers are still debated in our universities. The art of antiquity isn't just a collection of old objects in a museum. It's a living legacy. It's the DNA of our shared human story. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible tour through the art and culture of the ancient world. It's amazing to think about how these civilizations continue to inspire and influence us thousands of years later. If you enjoyed this journey, please hit that like button, subscribe to History of the Ancient World, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let us know in the comments which ancient civilization fascinates you the most. Until next time, keep exploring history.